Hey, what's up? I'm Ga, and my favorite game is Guardian Tales. Now, let me tell you why. So, when I was a kid, I grew up playing games like Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Minish Cap, Pokemon, Ruby, Sapphire, Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, Fire Emblem, Golden Sun, like a whole bunch of just really good titles. And I feel like Guardian Tales is an amalgamation of those games. It's literally all those games put into one. So if you guys have not checked this game out yet, it's amazing. Like I love the story. The story is just super good. It doesn't have you like running around, wasting your time like 4 hours to finally get some sort of progression. Go talk to this character that looks like every other NPC that nobody cares about, and then go talk to this character, and then 4 hours later you kind of get something out of it. It's not a game where the story feels like a Shonen Jump anime filler arc series. Like, the story is good. Like, it's really good. I love the gameplay. The characters are all like lovable and awesome and like really cool, cute. Like, there's definitely some waifus in here. Some of them are just straight up badass. And it definitely feels a lot like a retro game, like a very classic RPG style kind of thing. I mean, that's kind of how you're going to be building up your party, building up your characters, and it's just great. Like, there's so much to do in this game too. Like, you kind of see your home base looks like a beta version of The Sims, and it's just a good time up in here. Like, I've been playing this game for like a year and I still haven't done everything. That's how much content is in this game. Like, just solo. You can play this game as a entirely solo experience and get a ton out of it, right? So I'm just gonna go through all the content real quick. So just on your home screen, like your home base area, you have your whole town to take care of, and then starting from the top, you've got Orbital Lift, which is incredibly difficult content the higher you go up, and it's free. Like, there's no stamina or anything. It's just go as far as you can, get a ton of rewards for that. And then moving on over here, we've got the Tower of Horizon, which is unique because it limits your options as far as the characters you can bring in. It's a very unique challenge. I haven't even touched this yet, simply because I don't have like fully geared teams of each element to bring in here. And then moving on further to the left, we've got the World Exploration Ship. If you guys like Fire Emblem, this whole thing is a Fire Emblem style gameplay here, where I'll just open it up real quick, just like the first stage. So you basically have like your characters that you control, and you move them certain spaces, and like there's little enemies, and it's like this whole turn-based thing, right? So it's basically just Fire Emblem, right? You just go boop, boop, and then your characters move, and that's super fun. And then still in the exploration world ship. Ooh, okay. We've got the expedition. So the expedition, you kind of go through all these trial areas, and I can zoom out. It's big. Like there's a lot here. And this is literally your wave-based content. You just keep fighting waves and waves and waves of enemies, and you get to bring 3 teams, and you just fight like a bunch of stuff, like within a time limit, and like that's super cool. And if you guys have ever played Harvest Moon, we got that in this game too. We have a whole farm. Says there's a controller connected, but yeah, so I can't really move around at the moment. But yeah, we got a whole farm you can take care of. You can grow crops. Connected to it is the Monster Ranch, where you guys can get monsters and take care of like little dragons and things like that. And then just moving on around here, this training room, you can literally just stick gear in there and it'll be like maxed out. So it's a good way to like just have things. And then there's the Heavenhold Tower, which is like a whole nother series of challenges, right? Like each stage will go and get a little bit harder, and there's new puzzles and bosses and fights, and you just get things for doing it. That's also super cool. And like the Mirror Rift is a place you can go to grind for gear. And I actually haven't even completed this because there's just so much here to do. And like that's just on the home screen. If you click Adventure, there are 16 chapters. And what's cool about the chapters is right now we have normal and nightmare difficulty. The nightmare difficulty is actually a continuation of the story of that chapter. It's not just like, oh, it's the same thing, but it's harder now. It's different. So like here, I'll even show you guys with World 1. So you go through World 1 and you do the story here, and then I think this is actually the nightmare version of it. And then you go to like normal, and there's like more stuff. So like something will happen in this chapter, and then you can go do nightmare mode, and it'll kind of like continue on with the story, and it'll be a whole new experience. So that's like super cool. We have Camazone or Camazone, whatever you want to call it. This is literally a roguelite or roguelike kind of game mode where you take your team in, you progress across a certain path, whichever way you want to go. Random different things happen. You get random little buffs and little artifacts to kind of take with you. And then we have the Rift, which is all your standard stuff where you can get weapons from the resource dungeon, you can get character upgrades from the evolution dungeon, and then this one down here gets you some more character upgrade stuff. And then we have the normal tower, which is literally the same thing as the Heavenhold Tower, except different stages, different puzzles. And this thing goes, it just keeps going. Like I was trying to scroll to the end the other day, and it took forever. So tons and tons and tons of content, and that's literally just the single player game mode. If you want to talk about like multiplayer and PvP and like guild, and this game just has everything in it. So we have like the Colosseum, which is your standard PvP that most gacha games have. You take your team in, and it's auto controlled by the AI. You just kind of like pop in there and let the AI do its thing, and it just kind of takes care of itself. And there's even like a second PvP, which is Arena, where it's 3-on-3, 1v1, real time versus like real players. So you take 3 characters, your opponent takes 3 characters, and each one will fight one-on-one until somebody wins. And then we even have co-op, where you team up with 3 other players, you run through a level, you beat a boss, you get some good rewards for that. And then there's Boss Rush, which, you know, a lot of games have it, not just gacha games. You see this in, you know, a lot of like real games where you just fight bosses in a row for rewards and goodies and stuff. Super fun, super cool. And then the guild, right? You jump into the guild, and right there, it's like like an actual place that you can go and be in. And does this work? No. Okay. Well, I can't move right now for whatever reason. It's not picking things up, so I can't show you exactly everything. But over in the top right corner, there's an arcade with some mini games you can go play. In the bottom left, there's a training dummy where you can test out your DPS. And then we have a bunch of guild activities, like meteor excavation, where everyone in the guild just kind of takes turns excavating meteors for goodies. And then we also have Guild Raid, which, in my opinion, this is the best iteration of Guild Raid in a game that I have played so far. So the way it goes is there's 4 bosses every season. Seasons last 1 week, and then there's a 1-week break. But they start at a low level, probably right around 72, depending on how good your guild is doing. And then everyone in the guild will log on. They'll hit a boss, do damage. You see right here, some of these bosses are low on HP, or they have certain HP, you know, chunked out of them. The damage you do to a boss sticks, and then someone else in your guild can go hit that boss and either do more damage or take them out. And once you defeat all 4 bosses, they respawn, and they just keep getting stronger and stronger with more and more HP, and things get a little bit more difficult as your guild progresses through the season. But the cool thing about this is, unlike some other games where your damage doesn't really matter and rewards for you and your guild are kind of capped off at like a low level, you get rewards based on your ranking. So you are in direct competition with other guilds for rewards, which is a lot more motivating for me. It makes me actually want to do well and participate, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. Whoo! It's just so much to talk about with this game. Like there's so much content. The content's amazing. The devs, oh my god, Kong Studios, they have probably one of the better dev teams in the gacha market that I've seen so far. They're very responsive to player feedback. They buff older characters that are kind of underperforming. They nerf some things that aren't really well optimized or maybe a little too difficult. Like for example, they take some of these like lower tier characters. Like Karina, for example, is a 2-star character, or a rare hero that you can pull in the gacha. She's relatively common, but you see over here she's got green stars compared to some of the yellow stars over here. You can take her to the next level, and she'll be on par or even better than some of like the legendary rare heroes that you can pull, which is super cool. They're always looking out for like balance patches and like bugs and fixes and nerfs. Like they do a really good job maintaining the game. But on top of that, like their level design for like the actual stages is really good. Their story writing is really good. It's got a little bit of English here and there, but it's generally easy enough to figure out what they were trying to say. It's just Like, they do a really good job, you guys. Like, if you're just someone that wants to collect things, this game has such a huge collection of stuff, and all that stuff, like this collecting, gets you stats for your character, makes your characters better, and you can just like go through and look at your book and your collection bonuses, and like all the heroes you get increase like stats and all that kind of stuff. There's just almost too much content like in this game. And then for the shop, you might be wondering, well, how free to play is it? It's incredibly free to play. It's probably one of the more free to play friendly, or even just player friendly, because the way I look at this game is, if this game removed the gacha, it would still be a game, like a very good game. But the gacha kind of adds something into it that I feel like actually improves the whole experience. And the shop, I can't exactly show you everything right now because some of the deals aren't available right now, but this shop and a lot of the deals that they have are value. Like, a lot of them are at least like 1-to-1 is a good ratio that I like to look at, you know, like one summon per dollar, or like one of, you know, something valuable per dollar. A lot of that is, you know, equal to the money you spend or better, and that's awesome to see. And there's tons of stuff in the shop that you can get all the time. Like, the shop, for the most part, except for the packages, is permanent. Like, all of this stuff that's in here, it will stay in here, and you can get it pretty much whenever. And hero costumes and equipment costumes, but like this, it's not super important for stuff. It's just like, hey, you know, if you want to make your characters look different, that's super cool. It's really nice to have costumes and equipment skins and stuff, just to kind of add that whole flair and customization to your party, and that's really cool to see. And then on top of that, they have a system in place called mileage. So what mileage is anytime that you summon, you get one of these tickets up here, one of these purple tickets. And once you have 300, you can exchange them for any character, any weapon in the shop. So let's say you really wanted Valencia here, but she's not on banner. Well, you can still pull anyway, and then exchange tickets for her, and you can get the character you want whenever you want her, even though they're not on banner. So like, let's say you really wanted Valencia, but then you went and looked at the banner and you were like, oh, I also want Tinia here. You can summon for Tinia, get enough tickets from pulling for her, and then go exchange those tickets for the other character you wanted. Like, it's just a really good system. And I heard some people in the past say that the rates for the game are bad. That's not true. They're very standard. They're not like amazing, but they're not bad. And summoning does cost a little bit more in this game compared to other games, but you can get currency very quickly, very easily, because pretty much anything you do, you know, clearing stages, even, you know, working on heroes, like, you get gems. Like, literally everything in this game gives you gems. Like, it's not hard to build up a stash and then save for characters that you might want to pull. So just overall, this game, for me personally, it ticks all of the boxes. Like, it's literally perfect. Graphically, not super impressive, but like, I grew up with this kind of aesthetic, so I really like this. And it's no surprise, knowing me, like if you knew my history and like my gaming experience, why this game is pretty much my favorite game. It's just incredible, and if you haven't tried it, I would highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's so good, so good. But yeah, if you guys want to see more Guardian Tales content, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. Like, I am really big on guild raids. If you guys want to see some guides, I can do that too. I know quite a bit about this game and things I don't know about. My guild does, so I can ask them and then make a video. I can do like guild raid runs if you guys just want to see me beat up some bosses. That would be kind of fun, right? You know, let me know. But anyway, I'm gonna get going, and you guys have a good one.